Look, obviously we got involved, okay? We were requested by the court, right? This isn't something that we like to do. We don't love investigating cops. We're not IA,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. We have to do our job, right? Okay. The court contacted us again to talk about another incident, okay? Before we proceed, I mean, I know I called you, asked you to come meet with us, right? I said I could meet you anywhere. You said you come here, all right? Came here voluntarily. You can leave anytime, all right? I guess there's an incident last Father's Day on June 18th.
Completely verbal.
Is that something that you want to talk to us about, or?
There's no, I mean, it was a verbal disagreement.
Okay.
And no, I mean, there's nothing that happened.
Okay.
So she called because she said her daughter clipped her finger in the car seat, and she said we were arguing, and that was really the extent of it.
Okay. So, if you want to talk to us a little bit more about it, what I would prefer first, because you come in here. If you don't want to talk, that's fine.
No, because there's no need to, because there was nothing that happened.
Okay.
And again, I know my wife said she talked to you guys about, or she mentioned it in her statement.
Sure.
So.
I mean, we had some questions that we'd like to ask you, but
Okay.
what I'm going to do first, though, is I am going to read you your rights, just because you did come in here. If you were to say anything to incriminate yourself, this is just protect you. Like, you know what it is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. There's nothing to say, so
Okay.
there's nothing that happened in that situation.
Okay. Well, I'll read this to you.
Yep.
And we'll see. We'll ask a couple questions and we can get done with it. Is that up? I didn't grab the case number for that one. I think it's 227. Stand by. Mike, what's your middle name?
T. Thomas.
Whenever you're ready for the case.
Is it 227-162?
227-162. Yep.
Got it.
Do you want anything to drink? Water?
11.
I'm getting thirsty.
Date of birth? Your date of birth?
11/17/70.
I think next week's gonna be like 90 degrees or something like
Is
that.
it really?
It's gonna be hot. Everybody wanted summer. Then it's coming. It's gonna be.
All right. So, the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Connecticut require that I inform you of your rights as follows. You have a right to remain silent. If you talk to any police officer, anything you say can will be used against you in court. You have a right to consult with a lawyer before your question and may have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you if you wish before any questioning. If you wish to answer questions, you have the right to stop answering any time. You may stop answering questions at any time to talk to a lawyer, and you may have a lawyer with you during any further questioning.
Okay.
You're not a child, so that doesn't apply to you. My signature below certifies that I've been advised of my rights as listed above. Did you sign right? Sign right there? Yeah. All right, so then, if you want to talk to us, I waive these rights as indicated by placing my initials after one or more of the following statements. I wish to answer questions being fully aware of my rights as listed above. I do not want to consult with an attorney or have an attorney present with me at this time, and I understand my rights and waive them freely and voluntarily with no threats or promises made to me, and you are not 16 or 17 years old. So, if you want to talk to us, initial that line, that line, that line.
Now, I am obviously. I have counsel for the other case, so just remind me of that.
Is that something that you want here?
No, I mean there's nothing.
So this is a separate incident. So, if you want counsel, that's your right.
Yeah.
Do you want counsel?
No, I'll answer, but there's really nothing to say.
Okay.
So,
All right. What happened? I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit the other day, but
it was a verbal disagreement.
okay.
I didn't want her to leave. I went and sat in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Okay. What was it about?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Nope.
Okay.
To her car seat,
Mm-hmm.
clipped her thumb, and she called 911 to say that she had a finger injury.
Okay.
And then she added in there, and we're having an argument.
Okay.
But it was, again, completely verbal,
Uh-huh.
completely non-violent, nothing happened. So
Okay. All right. Why? I mean, the court called us to look into it, so obviously
Yeah, no,
they think it's something that needs to be investigated by us. Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, I mean, we wouldn't be here if we weren't told that we have to come speak to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I get it. But again,
Yeah.
that one's a complete non-issue. And I get, you know, I know she doesn't want to talk to anybody, but that's up to her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to stay out of that with her because she's always she's always yelling at me to make all this better, and I said I can't. There's a process.
Okay.
So that's I'll let her talk to you guys or not talk to you guys, whatever she wants to do. But
Okay.
is there an allegation that something violent happened?
Well, I mean, like I said, this came from the court.
Yeah.
It didn't come from.
Well, it didn't come from the court
Right.
saying that
Okay.
nothing happened. It came
Yeah.
from the court saying something happened.
Right.
But there was no violence that happened. There's no report of violence that happened. There's no report that indicates violence happened. So
What do you mean report?
there's no report that says violence happened.
Okay.
Is there? So again, I'm asking you
What
that it was a verbal disagreement and she just wanted us separated.
Okay. So she didn't say that you like twisted her arm or you jabbed her in the nose with a remote control or anything?
Not that I know of.
No. Okay. What if I were to tell you that we have the body cam video?
There is no body cam video.
You sure about that?
Mhm.
Do you remember? Do you know the officers that responded that day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Officer Watson, Sergeant Holt. Who's out there for the I don't remember the other names.
There's 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Then I don't know what she said. I wasn't part of her interview.
Why do you say there's no body camera footage?
because if it's not tagged as an arrest
What's the retention time?
for general retention, was it 30 days? I think for like normal citizen contact.
For like post requirements or for East Lyme
It's state requirement.
state requirement? Okay.
Yeah.
So how that was it investigated as a domestic violence incident?
No, because it wasn't.
How was it investigated as?
I don't know. It was they came because she had said that. I don't know what happened other than she talked to them in the other room. I talked to them, and I said, I'm just going to leave.
Okay.
I agreed to leave. But there was no violence that happened. There was nothing that was said, as far as I know, that indicated violence.
Okay.
That's what she told me. She said.
Was there did they talk? Which officer did you talk to? Did you talk to all the officers there, or?
Probably Holt and Watson. I was outside. I stayed outside.
Okay.
Holt was a sergeant.
You stayed outside the whole time while they were talking to.
Pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think maybe I went inside to get some stuff with them before I left.
Okay.
But
Okay. So they separated you guys to talk to you separately?
Mhm.
Okay. I know that's not true.
what's not true?
Because like I said, we have the body cam video. I know you don't believe us, but I'm not bullshitting you here.
What's
Well,
not true?
we're trying to be honest with
I
you.
know. I'm trying to be honest with you too. As well. I haven't seen body
Like,
camera.
if we're asking you, we're all cops here, right?
Yeah.
Like we're asking you a question, but
nothing violent happened.
we already know the answer.
The answer to what? Nothing violent happened.
I know that she's claiming that violence did happen. Okay.
How do I know that? I don't know
Because
that.
you were there.
But violence didn't happen.
Okay.
So I don't know what you're talking about because violence never happened. She didn't indicate to me that she said violence happened. So how do I know that?
Who called 911?
She did. And that she called 911 saying that there was a finger injury with a child.
How bad was this
So
finger?
if you have the body camera, you have the phone call.
How bad was this finger injury?
It was nothing. The fire department got there, looked at it, and said, "No, we're leaving." That was the extent of it.
That seems strange to call 911
Yes,
for
it does.
nothing.
Did you get the 911 call? If you have the body cameras, you have the 911 call.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what does it say in the 911 call?
It says that she needs you because there's a lot of fighting.
That's what it says?
Yes.
Okay. Does it say anything about a finger injury?
Yeah. That's part of it.
You seem like you were surprised by the finger injury. I
No.
said it to you.
So first of all, okay. I should have asked you what happened. Okay.
Nothing happened. No violence happened.
Okay. So
again,
then just tell us about what actually happened that day, because I know you didn't.
we
say
had a
that.
disagreement. I have no idea what happened.
Okay.
We had a disagreement. She wanted to leave with the kids. I went and sat in the car.
What was the disagreement about?
It was a year ago, man. Do you remember everything that happened a year ago?
If the cops are called, I would remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what started it.
Okay.
You know how many?
Why'd you go sit in the car?
Because she wanted to take the kids away, and I didn't want her to take the kids away. So I sat in the passenger seat of the car.
Okay.
Basically, I'll go with you guys. That was it.
So she tries to remove herself from a situation and you prevent her.
No, she wanted to take the kids away. Didn't again? I don't understand. So, what crime is committed there?
Well, we're investigating it. Like I said, we're investigating the
Where
incident.
statute of limitations is what?
Is a year
Mhm.
for misdemeanors and
Yep.
5 years for felonies. Okay.
There's no,
Right.
So there's a felony because I sat in my car.
Is there?
There's
You
not.
tell us. I mean, you're the one that was there.
Yes, I didn't do anything. I did nothing criminal.
Okay.
We had a disagreement. She was going to take the kids. I went and sat in the car. Then I got out of the car, and then she called that. Again, what was wrong with that? Where is there a crime?
And you stayed outside the whole time while the officer was talking to her?
That I remember sitting on the front step. I don't remember if I went again.
You didn't go in there and kind of interject every time you disagreed with something that she was telling the officer?
I don't remember.
So now you don't remember.
What was that?
So now you don't remember?
I said before I didn't remember those things.
Okay. What do you remember then?
I remember we had an argument. Remember she called 911. I remember the fire department came.
Mhm.
3 police officers came too. And then she told me afterwards that she wished she didn't call. That is, I don't know. Again, you do what you have to do.
We are. Like I said, we're not doing this because we have some kind of vendetta against you or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
all right? We don't know you, all right? We're told to come investigate something, so we have to come investigate something. And so we have to ask you the questions. And when you're telling us that you're out of, there's no body cam video or
Because again, if it's if there is, but if there's regular retention, that wouldn't happen. But I don't. Again, if there is. I hope there is. Because if there is, that means you have an opportunity to look at what happened. Right.
Yep. And
So
now,
if you have it,
so now that's why we wanted to hear it from you.
but I'm not on the body. I'm not doing the body cameras.
But you were there.
But I'm not there when she gave her statement.
Yes, you were.
Where was I?
You were there.
Where did I interject?
What?
Where was I?
You tell me.
No,
You tell me. No. This is not how
I've done this for a long time. I don't play. I know how to play the game of interviews. No.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're saying that you weren't there.
I don't know if I did. You tell me where I interjected. And again, if I interjected, is that a crime?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Danny from the Constitution State here today. I hope everybody's having a good day. Today's video once again comes from The Day, and it also involves the East Lyme Police Department and once again, disgraced police chief Michael Finkelstein. And boy, let me tell you, we hear these guys say quite a lot, oh, act like men, be an adult, stand up and do the right thing. But when the shoe's on the other foot, look at exactly how they act. They truly make them believe that they are above everybody else. This dude walked in there with no counsel. He thought he could just go in there and say whatever he wanted and expect the state police to just listen to him, just like his own officers did, which honestly probably would have happened if this wasn't under so much scrutiny. We've been hearing this for months. He wants to get back to work and he wants to get back to his job, being the chief of police. The people do not want him back. And as of November 1st, he has now stolen and cost the taxpayers over $100,000. And this is weird. They spelt disgraced wrong and somehow put embattled. The town has also spent $4,500 in the early days of Finkelstein's leave for a rental car after the department-issued SUV was taken away. The move was based on a stipulation in his employment contract that he be provided with a vehicle. The town subsequently let him use an older cruiser from the town fleet. He's entitled to fill it up with gas at the town's fuel depot, but figures remain unavailable. Acting Chief Masick's pay per union contract matches Finkelstein's $150,000 salary. According to an arrest warrant, on the night of June 3rd, Finkelstein and the woman were fighting over his cell phone, and he became angry and punched her in the face. The victim said Finkelstein had quite a few drinks that night, and she found out he had been texting a female coworker, police said. When she confronted him, police said he grabbed her by the chin, and then she was struck in the nose with a remote control, the warrant said. Finkelstein put himself in counseling after his initial arrest and is now on medication to deal with post-traumatic stress he suffered after a fire. The State Department of Children and Families also reviewed the incidents and closed their case without sustaining any of the allegations, Nazzaro said. That's coming from his lawyer. Nowhere else have I seen anywhere that DCF was actually called or notified. The affidavit revealed state police were never called. The allegations went away until prosecutors, after Finkelstein's arrest for the June 3rd incident, ordered a reinvestigation by state police. According to the arrest warrant affidavits, a local officer responding to a 911 call left it to Finkelstein's wife to call state police to report that he had been rough with her in front of her young children. The unnamed officer, who was later joined by an unnamed sergeant, said it was a conflict for the department to investigate its own chief. and we got the names later. The report names Officer Lawrence Watson and Manager Eric Holt as the two officers responding to the house that night. The report also names Manager Dana, whatever that is, as a subject of the investigation. Dana is who he was texting. The name and number of other officers being probed remains unspecified, though First Selectman Dan Cunningham has identified one of them as Manager Dana Blah. She is the department's highest ranking woman and reported directly to Finkelstein. We know that when the officers originally left there in 2023, they had called Dana.
I'm not saying that's a crime.
Okay.
Okay.
But what are you
But
alleging?
we're investigating.
What listen to this. What crime are you investigating?
We are investigating the allegations that she's making that day.
Which allegations were made?
That you stuck a remote control in her face and grabbed her. I believe it was by the wrist. I might be wrong on that.
Remote
I'd have to
control?
go. Yeah. Is that true?
Is that true? What? That happened?
Yeah.
No. There's been no violence.
No violence.
No.
Okay. Was there any other incidences with anyone else in the house, in the household?
Is this being what?
Anything else?
That's a pretty broad statement. What?
Mike, listen, we kind of know that this has been like a tumultuous relationship
Yes.
for the last few years, right?
Yes. Yes.
And none of this is easy for you,
Right.
the kid, right? Okay. So obviously we're at a point now, it's like one straw after the other. Now the straws broke the camel's back, and now we have this, and everything's, your whole entire life basically now is kind of being
Right.
unfolded, right? I can't imagine what that must be like right now, okay? And I'm trying to empathize with you and understand a little bit of what you're going through, but going down the rabbit hole of like the I don't knows, and then all of a sudden you do know.
You don't remember everything about every situation. Certain
Okay.
things I remember, certain things I don't. It's natural.
Okay.
Sure.
So again, there's no violence that occurred that day. I don't know what she said on the body cameras. I also know, if you look at this last incident, what she said on the body cameras and what she ultimately said in a written statement.
Sure.
Shows a pattern of unreliability. Okay. Again, you guys talked to her because she said it. If you talk to somebody else, you know that there's a history of saying things, and then later on those things didn't happen. Not just the name. So again, if that's what you're saying, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. So if you're saying that
I'm saying no violence occurred.
no violence occurred, okay. Then what were you guys arguing about?
I don't know what we're arguing.
You don't know what you're arguing about.
We argue all the time. Like he said, years of 12. I can't remember what every single argument was about.
Mm-hmm.
Nor should I have to remember what every argument is about. And what does it matter what the argument's about?
Because
It
it
paints the picture. It tells a story. What is this
so we're
about?
trying to get to the truth here, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So this is what she's reporting. What you're going to try to
She
tell
didn't
us.
report anything.
She called 911. She spoke to the officers. She did report something.
Okay.
Okay. You can't just say she didn't report anything. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're good.
She
That's
told
not
me
what happened.
she.
Okay.
What? I'm sorry, we cut you off. What she said? What? She said something. You were just
No, I said but she told me after that she did that nothing violent happened. So I mean, we I just,
Mike. We're trying.
so
We're not- we're
I'm
not
telling you the
trying-
truth. I don't know what you want me to say.
We're trying to just be transparent with you here.
Mhm.
Okay, we watched the body camera footage, right?
And the body camera footage showed what?
You tell us.
No, the body camera footage showed what? Did it show her and I interacting?
Like you were there. Okay. We want
Yes.
your recount of what happened. We're not telling you what happened.
I told you what happened.
Okay.
We
All
had,
you said was there's no violence.
we had a verbal disagreement. I went and sat in the car. She wanted me out of the car. She tried to clip her daughter's seatbelt in, clipped her finger, immediately called 911, said that the child was hurt, and that we were having an argument. That was it. So I sat there and waited for the police to come, or the fire department to come. I didn't know that the second part of it. Fire department shows up, looks at her finger, like, oh, she's fine. And then the officers came, and we were all talking, or we were talking outside. They were talking to her inside. You're saying I interjected into it. It was determined that, all right, there's nothing criminal that happened, and I left.
Okay.
So I'm missing what. So what happened in there, besides what you're saying she said originally? Is that
What do you mean what she said originally?
You just said that I twisted her arm.
What are you asking?
I'm asking what your allegation you said.
I'm not making allegations. Okay, we're investigating these allegations. Okay, all right.
You just said you were investigating allegations.
I said I'm not making any allegations. I'm not accusing you of anything. Okay.
'Cause I didn't.
All right? We're just investigating an incident. Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's all we're doing. Okay.
How
Now,
come-
as a police chief,
Yeah.
okay, would you be satisfied if one of your officers went out to investigate something and got some vague story of what happened and called it a day? That's fine. That'll be fine with you.
Is that fine?
So,
But I
so,
also
so
know-
now you
but I
can, now
also
you
know-
can see why it wouldn't be fine with us.
But I also know in the warrant that you did, the first arrest, you failed to mention.
Okay.
Was that purposeful?
I'm not going to talk to you about your case. Okay.
Of course not.
Of course not.
So we're talking about doing an
We're
investigation.
talking about the current incident. Okay. If you want to try to turn this around,
I'm not
you're gonna, listen.
I'm not turning around. I'm asking you a question.
It's not a game of chess.
Okay.
It's not a game of chess, but you just asked me what I would do in that situation. I'm saying yes, in a situation like that, where information is purposely left out of a warrant. Is there a reason for that?
I'm not answering.
Is there a
questions
reason
on
that
your
somebody in the
case,
command
okay?
staff of Eastern District talked to retired troopers about details in that warrant that were redacted? You want to
Like
go
I
down this
said-
path?
Sure, because I don't know what you're talking about, and we're not talking about that, okay? Because we're here to talk about this incident, all right?
Yeah. There was no incident.
There was an incident because they got called there.
Yes, I told
Mike,
you.
come
I
on.
told you the answer to why.
You're not gonna pull the wool over our
I'm not
eyes.
pulling wool over anybody's eyes.
Well,
Nothing.
you're going down that rabbit hole.
What rabbit hole?
The rabbit hole of what actually happened that day.
I'm telling you what the fuck happened. You don't yell at me.
Okay. Then tell us what happened.
I'm telling you. How many times have I told you what happened? How many times?
You vaguely say there's no violence,
There-
and you don't
because
know
the-
what the argument's about. That's what you've been saying.
Right. Because it was a year ago. I don't remember what the argument was about. It was a verbal argument. I know there's no violence because we haven't had violence.
It was a verbal argument where the police were called. I would think you would remember something
She called
like that.
911 for the. Listen to the 911 call. And what did she say?
You tell me. I'm not giving you the
A
information
child
here,
with a
okay?
finger injury, a finger laceration. Right?
I don't know. You tell us.
I'm telling you, I told you 6, 7, 8 times.
Okay.
What part? You keep asking the question. I keep answering the same question for you.
So let me get this straight. So you're saying that she calls because your daughter's finger got clipped in a car seat
Yes,
that she could probably put a Band-Aid on.
absolutely. And that's exactly.
So she called 911.
And that's exactly so. Go talk to the EMT that got there because exactly what he said. Could have put a Band-Aid on this, and they turned around and left.
Right, because they weren't there to investigate
That's-
the domestic violence. Okay.
That's not what she called. But fine, you guys do what you got to do.
Do you want to give us a statement
No.
about this?
No.
Very good.
No.
Okay.
I mean, this again. It's
So that's what we're gonna stick with then. Is you don't remember what the argument was about? She called because your daughter's finger got clipped in a car seat.
Did you see
And she
the
called
CAD?
and she called
Did
911.
you see the CAD report? What does it say? Finger laceration on a child.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Sure. Come on in.
Mike, how's it going?
That's what she said.
Okay.
Finger laceration on a child.
Sure.
All right, listen. The body camera footage that we have, okay, accused you of not allowing her to drive to a police department.
That's not
to
what she was
report.
doing. That's not what
Listen,
she.
in the body camera, I'm telling you what she said.
Bye-bye.
All right. Goodbye. We walk you out.
I know where I'm going. I've been here long enough.
Well, yeah, you still can't walk around unsupervised in a police department.
Okay.
In the state police barracks.
Okay.
Right here.
All right.
And I'm going to show this again just because he really believes everything's going to get swept away and he's just going to be the police chief again. And he's going to be able to go, quote unquote, serve the people, like he says. The release of a personnel file gave a voice to Finkelstein, who in an August 22nd email told Price, Cunningham, and the town's legal team that he had remained silent while trusting the town's process despite 2.5 months of being ignored, personally and shamed publicly, which shows just how he thinks. He really believes he's been personally and publicly shamed. They've actually done more than they would do for any one of us. They've withheld public records that we have a right to see. Once again, this is what they create. This dude really believes this. Finkelstein had been directed a month prior to communicate with the town only through his lawyer, John Nazaro, according to the personnel file. Nazaro, in turn, was advised to address all communications directly to town labor attorney Nicholas Grello. Now, mind you, this is after treatment, so there is no excuse. He wasn't intoxicated. He wasn't in the right frame of mind, which further reinforces why he needs to be fired. The town has artificially extended this personal damage as it continues to make no effort to work with me or towards an investigation which returns myself to duty, he wrote. I have given the town of East Lyme 7 years of outstanding service, which apparently are of no consideration. No, you did a job which you got paid very well for 7 years. He acts like he was just out there doing community service and the town owes him something. No. His message came the same day. The Board of Police Commissioners posted meeting minutes stating they had met 3 days prior for a closed-door emergency meeting to discuss Finkelstein's response to a police call while on leave. As a 35-year police veteran with extensive training experience responding to situations involving mental health issues and having taken a sworn oath to protect the community and bound by the Connecticut statute, I exited my car and approached the mail, he said. Finkelstein in the email to officials questioned the need for the police commission to hold an emergency meeting when members could have simply asked him what happened. Why would they do that when he's done nothing but lie this whole time? So he could say, oh, I don't remember, like he did in this meeting here with the state police. He acts like he's some stand-up member in the community and his word can be taken. Public humiliation. The 7-year chief said he found the situation and subsequent public humiliation to be egregious. That's how I picture him talking, just whining. Oh, they're publicly humiliating me. They're doing more for you than they do for anybody else that gets arrested in the state. He just doesn't like being on the other side. Now he's going to cry and whine about it and make a big deal. This demonstrates a continued atmosphere of harassment and purposeful behavior by the town, which has now demonstrated that the safety and well-being of the community is of a less importance than disparaging me, who now remains on leave for 80 days without investigation taking place to return me to duty. He blamed the town for making no effort to work with him. You mean like he worked with the state police? Why should they work with him when this is how he's acted throughout all of this? In his demented brain, he really believes, though, that they're doing this. And this is all with malicious intent. He's talking about the well-being of the community. They are doing the right thing for the community. Finkelstein's file included a copy of his request under the Freedom of Information Act, asking the town for communications between members of the media and East Lyme officials in order to find out who was talking to whom about details of the case. What's he going to do? Have his underlings from the department go out and start harassing people from the town or media because they said something he doesn't like? I am hopeful at some point the town and its legal counsel recognizes the extensive damage its actions are causing, he said. The town's actions are not what caused this or causing this, which again shows his lack of accountability, how his brain works, his thought process. Like he was flat out told not to communicate with any member of the town. And what's he do after going out on a call that he's not even supposed to be on? Emails the town. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think he was inappropriately texting Dana? Do you think there might have been some relationship there? Do you think the town's handled it appropriately thus far? Do you think any of the 4 officers being investigated right now and they're talking about pulling their certs should keep their jobs? Because I don't. But let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. We'll talk about it on the next one.